Previously on the Toyota Unlimited Racing Development MR2 build. I purchased a 2GR V6 from a local junkyard to cram into the back of my Toyota MR2. This endeavor will result in my demise, and it starts right now. Occasionally, we'll read comments saying that we've changed, or we're out of touch. People who miss the old gears and gasoline, to which I say, we're down to earth. We're just like the average car guy. We put our engines on engine stands using a forklift just like you. Now sit back and enjoy some down-to-earth, good old-fashioned wrenching.
So we have a V6, a 2GR from Toyota that is going in a Toyota.
The engine that was in there, we pulled out.
So now we need to start prepping this motor to get it ready to go into the MR2.
What do you think, Mark? If there's oil in there, you owe me lunch.
So I owe you lunch. Oh, that's surprising.
Oh, it's already loose, huh?
Yeah. All right. Moment of truth.
Come on, please. No!
Oh!
Man.
Even they take the oil now.
Rats.
But you know what? At least I get some free lunch.
So I have to buy new oil and new lunch. So this is a 2GR FE engine, V6 3.5 liter out of, in this case, a Lexus RX 350. But this engine came in so many cars. Came in the Avalon, the Orion, the RAV4/Vanguard, the Estima, Previa, Tarago, the Camry, the ES 350, the Harrier, the Highlander, the Kluger, the Blademaster, that's sick.
That is a sick name.
A Mark X Zeo, the Alphard/Velfire, the Toyota Venza, the Lexus LM350, Hong Kong only, the Evora, the Sienna, the Bolwell Nagari 300. It was in the Toyota Corolla, but only for Super GT use. It was in the Evora GTE. It was in the TRD Orion, the Evora S, the Exige S 350, 360, 380, 410, and 430. And the Evora 400.
I feel like you just spoke a different language to me.
Yep, and that was just the FE. If you want to talk about the FSE, that was in the Toyota Crown Athlete, the Lexus GS 350, the Lexus GS 450H, the IS 350, the Crown Hybrid, the Mark X, the GS 350, the IS 300 all-wheel drive, the RC 350, and the Mark X GRMN, and the Mark X Plus M Supercharger. But if we're talking the 2GR FXE...
Ben, I am so sorry I asked.
This particular motor I got from a local junkyard from an RX 350. According to them, 65,000 miles. Considering this is a Toyota, it's like just broken in. They did like clip all of the connectors instead of just undoing them. So we don't have the engine wiring harness, we just have a bunch of bum connectors.
Couple of broken connectors.
Yeah, this guy broke off here.
The very first thing I want to do is take the oil pan off so that we can make a few key modifications. In order to spin the engine upside down though, we need to take off the intake manifold, so it'll clear the engine stand.
I'm sure with like a catch can setup maybe, like it'll be better.
I'm not as worried about these rusty nuts as I am about this oil pan.
That looks like
that looks like the pickup right there. Yeah.
Right there.
And this is all smooshed. Man.
So this might be fine, maybe.
I don't know.
I don't know if that's supposed to be indented like that.
I mean, that's definitely
That's definitely not. Yeah.
Come on, Mark. Let's just get to splitting. A handy dandy putty knife.
This is going to be the sound of an oil pan separating from a block.
The lower oil pan, which is this black part, is going to need replacing with all of the dents.
That son of a gun is really on there. Well, that wasn't satisfying at all. That guy, no.
Okay. Hey, you know, pretty clean, all things considered. I mean, all things I guess being that, oh my God. Everything is sealed in theory.
In theory.
But also it's a junkyard, so they're probably doing like absolute bare minimum.
The milkshake residue in that pan doesn't look great, but I'm not going to jump to conclusions yet about head gaskets or some kind of flooding of the engine. Off camera, I rotate the crank and everything spins freely, meaning rust on the rotating assembly is probably not an issue. So let's dig deeper before we start panicking. What really kicked off all of this 2GR dismemberment is the upper oil pan.
Toyota, for some cars that the 2GR came in, offered a tow package. So for example, like the RAV4, Highlander, stuff like that, there was an option to get an oil cooler with this engine. So we need to have this casting in order to run an oil cooler, which obviously, considering this is going to be an engine that was never really intended to be on the racetrack, we're gonna wanna be able to have the oil being cooled.
Well, it's nice that you were able to at least pick that up.
It was like $100 on eBay.
We spend a bit of time cleaning up the eBay tow package oil pan and then sprucing up the mating surfaces, unaware that we're actually wasting a good bit of time and energy mounting the upper oil pan already. More on that later.
Well, we cleaned out the oil pan, but we're not going to use it per se, but we want to kind of keep the engine sealed. So we're just going to go ahead and throw this back on until we get a new oil pan that doesn't have much of dents and things.
Let's start spinning these guys off because we're not using hardly anything in this V.
That's a loosey-goosey.
Now, as pretty much an exclusively 4-cylinder guy, I have no idea what I'm looking at here. This is like brand new tech to me. I'm pretty sure they just came out with this. These are all the OEM injectors. I'm not sure what size these are, what CCs, but we're not going to be using them, so we don't care.
Because we're going bigger.
We're going bigger or we're going home.
They say bigger is better.
They do say that, and it hurts my feelings every time.
I thought it'd be a good idea to know this, right? This side here is bank 1, and the side that you're on is bank 2. Right? That scared me. I'll just change these plugs. We're in here, we might as well. All right. It's iridium, Denso.
So it's an OEM plug.
I know one of these sides is going to be darn near impossible to get to. 6, 4, 2. It's like you were prepared for this. Oh, and factory plug.
Mm-hmm.
You're taking this build very seriously, Ben.
I don't know if they've ever had their spark plugs changed.
I mean, they are factory plugs, right?
They are factory plugs. But if you have a Lexus, you're probably getting it serviced at the dealer. But I would bet that these are the original plugs. Yeah, it's definitely been in there for a long time. Oh boy, just think, pretty soon, this guy's gonna be in there. And you know who the first person to drive this car is gonna be? Mark
Ben
Brilo.
Lynn. Or
Mark
people who watch our channel.
What, are we giving away like
a free seat
first
time?
drive? That would, I think, probably constitute manslaughter.
Why are we taking this crank pulley off, right? We are expecting a new delivery of cams to be coming in, so we need to start getting the timing cover all off and everything like that. I think we gotta just figure it out as we go.
So it is just a giant V.
Right.
Wow, that is a big timing change.
And watch, I'm probably gonna take something off that didn't even really need to come off.
So this right here is the OEM engine mount for the timing side of the motor. We're ditching it for this. This is Mark's Frankenstein Motorworks mount that he fabricated himself. He designed everything, and he had it cast by a third-party company, but man, the fit and finish on this thing is about as good as you're gonna get with OEM. Like, that is pretty incredible. And that is designed to work in the ZZW30 or the MR2 Spider chassis.
So what I think is like really cool about this engine, there's a lot of different pry areas for prying up, say like in this case, valve cover, the upper oil pan. Like here's one of them, you got one on the other side, and then you had one on the front cover. You know you're not gonna break something. It's like overly designed for it.
That's what you get with these big boy engines.
This is a big boy engine. This is a serious engine. Pretty healthy. Cam lobes look good.
That's moving.
Unfortunately, what you may have been able to predict, and what we were discovering, is that in order to remove the timing cover from a 2GR, the upper oil pan does need to be removed first. The upper oil pan that we just spent yesterday removing and reinstalling.
This piece here is touching the upper tray, and it's not allowing us to move further out. If this doesn't tell you that we're used to 4 cylinders, I don't know what else would.
This is all part of this front cover, the timing chain cover, and it's gonna come off with the timing chain cover, and it will not come off if this upper oil pan is still on.
At least for, say, Hondas, the oil pump is attached to the crank and not the cover.
How many J series you work on?
Good point.
Honda's J Series V6 apparently also has the oil pump on the block. The 2GR is just somewhat inconvenient in its design here, but dropping the upper oil pan back off gave us the ability to remove the front cover, and then it was smooth sailing.
So now that we've got the front cover off, we can go ahead and spin this motor around, get this thing in time so that we can take the chains off and whatnot. And then I think you have another package that showed up, right?
Yeah, it is time to start doing some stuff to this motor that will generate more horsepower.
Some 2GR eccentricities continued to delight Mark once we got to the timing of the engine itself.
You're telling me that there's not enough room in here to move this chain? Like, it won't fit in between the teeth. Don't tell me I have to take that phaser off.
The trick was to advance the exhaust cam to the point that the flat edge of the cam phaser would allow for greater clearance for the chain. Unique!
Now, you might be wondering why we're doing everything that we're doing to the V6. Isn't it already a V6? Aren't we already increasing displacement by a liter? And yes, we are, and it is, but this motor is only rated at 270 crank horsepower in the Lexus RX 350. The 4-cylinder 2AR engine that we just took out of this car was already making 250 wheel horsepower. So obviously we are not going to do everything that we're doing just to get this into the car, only to make basically the same peak horsepower. More torque, sure, but we want this thing to be a comprehensive upgrade on all fronts, which is why we are going to be upgrading the horsepower.
터보 시크릿 쥐는 것 프랭켄슈타인 모터워크 TGR 감속도 280mm 인테크 275니.
Ben, we're not doing this again. Just talk about the part.
Okay, yeah, okay, that's fine. So this is a custom Frankenstein Motorworks camshaft. These are 280 degree, 11.5 millimeter lift on the intake side and a 275 degree and 11 millimeter on the exhaust side. These are designed to work with both the 2GR FE, the low compression engine, which is what we have here, and the FXE, which is the high compression hybrid version of the motor that has different high compression pistons. There are different dowel positions on the cams that allow you to advance the timing gear by 10 degrees if you have the FE engine, which is what we're gonna do. It'll help us eke out a little bit more horsepower that'll make up a little bit of the gap that we would have if we had high compression pistons in the engine right now.
Wild. What the heck? This bank is longer? Dude, that is wild.
So each one of these cams is different.
So we have these lobes here that face up.
In retrospect, it makes sense that with a V engine, the cylinder heads would need to be offset and thus different lengths, as they need to share the same plane for the timing chain. But Mark and I don't work on anything but 4 cylinders, so this was groundbreaking for us. Something even more groundbreaking was right around the corner though.
Now I know what you're thinking. Why are you taking out these spark plugs when you just put them in? Well, we gotta change the valve springs. So we need to put air into the cylinders so that the valves don't drop in. We don't have to take off the head, because that's just more work.
So we're going from OEM to these.
Spirited driving modification debut. 1000rpm valve spring. Valve spring upgrade max rotation performance. Recycle OEM rotate. Nani? Beehive. Beehive go kansei ga arimasen.
It doesn't work at all?
No, it's not gonna work at all. Just... that spring will go flying.
I didn't realize that it was like some engines had the beehives and some engines have just like cylindrical springs.
No, but that's the thing, is nobody knows which engines it is. I mean, I'm sure somebody at Toyota knows.
So all 2GRs are not created the same basically, like they just were tweaking stuff like engine to engine sort of like based on the time frame.
Our issue is the high performance springs from Frankenstein Motorworks are intended to be used with the OEM spring retainers, this little out of focus hat essentially. But because this particular 2GR which I've bought was one of the engines Toyota randomly decided to use tapered beehive valve springs on, the OEM retainers are much smaller on this motor and thus will not hold the aftermarket spring in place. So we've got to wait for more retainers from Mark at Frankenstein Motorworks.
Yeah, a little small. One.
As Mark continues to swap the valve springs for their upgraded counterparts, he moves from cylinder to cylinder, filling each one with air. But that's when he starts noticing another problem.
I give up. I give up. Let's play a game, shall we? All right, now if this one blows out, Ben Thorne owes me $5. Ben Thorne owes me $5. If this one blows out, Devontae owes me $5. Okay?
Got $5.
If this one pops out, Cam owes Devontae $5. Sorry, Devontae. Oh, it's actually leaking from this side. That side is good. That side is bad. So the middle of this, and I guess all of them on that side. We have David here. We got a little bit of a leaky valve situation, and you brought us a tool. What is this tool?
So it's a cylinder leak down tester. So we're gonna take air from the air compressor.
All right.
We're gonna put it through here. We're
Okay.
gonna twist a little valve, and it's gonna tell us how much of the air is leaking out of the valve.
Okay, and that'll visually show us how bad the cylinder, the leak down is. So what you're telling me is that's pretty bad.
Yeah. So if you want to do some fun math, if you're putting 50 psi in, approximately 80% of that is leaking out.
Subsequent results are similarly disheartening. We tried the air pressure at 90 psi instead, which may be more standard, and results improve slightly, but still 4 of the 6 cylinders are not acceptable at all.
If we were to leave it like this, that's a lot of power loss.
I'm trying to reach somebody about an engine return or exchange.
What do you mean, like it's a defective engine, or?
Yeah, I bought an engine from you guys and it's defective.
Okay. Do you have any kind of invoice number?
I do. 708.
Looks like a Lexus engine.
Yeah, 3.5 liter.
Mr.
Yes, sir.
Alright, let me let you talk to him.
Please leave a message after the tone.
I'm calling. I bought an engine from you back at the end of January. We just got around to taking the oil pan off and doing a leak down test and stuff, and it is got oil and what looks like coolants in the oil pan. I left a message that would never be responded to, so the following day I called the salesman directly. I'm seeing that there's milkshake in the oil pan and it's failing a leak down test like pretty badly. And I know I'm like about a month outside of the return period, but I wanted to know if there was any way I could exchange this for another engine, just because like it has multiple issues with it.
RX350, shoot, that should have been golden on them. They don't have no problem.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like shocked that it has these issues. I want to see if I can just swap this out.
Yeah, they won't. They've been past 30 days.
Okay.
I can try to put that, like, I'm gonna try to put it to my warranty people and see what they did for you. Just give me a little bit on it, all right?
Okay.
Print this off now. And all that.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right.
So I'm at the place where I bought the engine, the exact location where I bought the engine. And I went in to try and talk to the guy that sold me the engine in person. He's not there. The other guy that's there is like, hey, what can I do for you? And I said, hey, I'm here trying to talk to about this engine that I bought that I want to exchange. And he said, oh, it doesn't work here. And I said, he used to work here because I bought this engine from him. And he said, he doesn't work at this location. He said he's never worked here. He works in Roanoke. And I said, that's crazy because like I came in and like I talked to him on the phone and then I like bought it from him in person. But I guess maybe I'm misremembering and I bought it from somebody else. Apparently not work here, so I have to talk to because he's the one that sold me the engine. Even though the engine came from this location. So whatever. So we'll see. Now this is 3 days of me trying to talk to them about getting my engine exchanged. So when I went to that physical location where I bought the engine here in town, they told me, of course, that the salesman that I thought I had spoken to had never worked there, and that he was going to email me and we would figure it out that way. As you can probably guess, since I'm including this whole segment in the video, he has never emailed me and nothing has been figured out. It's been 5 days since I first initiated contact with this parts seller here in town to try and get my engine warranted or exchanged. And I have no interest in talking trash about any company. Ben and myself, Gears and Gasoline, has never talked ill of any company. I just think that if you sell someone an engine for $1,700, you should probably at least give them a final answer on if it can be warranted or exchanged, or have some kind of customer service about it. I can't get in touch with anybody, and I just have an engine that doesn't work, and I have a video timeline that's all screwed up because we were supposed to get through a bunch more mods in this video and have the engine like fully ready to go into the car by the end of this episode, and the next episode we were going to actually put it in. But I'm not going to do mods to an engine that's completely failing a leak down test. So I have to get another 2GR. So I'm sorry that there wasn't more content in this video than me just complaining about the company that I bought this engine from. But yeah, I guess in the next video, I will have another 2GR, and I am going to
do all the mods that we were trying to do in this video to that one. And then after that, we can put it into the car. So I'm sorry if this was kind of a waste of everybody's time. I certainly feel like my time was wasted. And I am still of two minds about whether I want to call out the company that sold me this engine. I really am just very conflict averse. I don't want to start anything, but I'm also extremely dissatisfied. So anyways, thanks for watching, guys. And Ben is going to have something absolutely killer for you guys next week. You don't want to miss it. And then in a little while, we'll have another 2GR and we can put that in the car. So thanks for watching.
Super Low Compression Engine Debut! Ultra Low Horsepower, Ultra Low Customer Service, F-Class Quality Control, Unlimited Video Delay.